Big Marmar 1423. This one is for you. What if Invincible were in Halo? It's quite a novel concept. Whoever came up with this is really thinking outside of the box. So, let's begin. Invincible just lost his fight to Anissa, and he's feeling pretty low in his morale. Cecil tries to teleport him home after cleaning up his wounds, but something goes wrong with the teleporting device. Instead of being taken back to the base, he is sent through a wormhole in space-time and lands in the Epsilon Eridani system right outside of Halo Reach. He immediately lands on the planet to try to take stock of things, and that is when he locks eyes with Kat. Now, him having extreme trauma from the fight with Anissa, he immediately has a PTSD blackout, mistakes her for Anissa, and then just flies through her at supersonic speed, flattening her body into a lumpy paste. The Spartans couldn't even see what just happened. All they know is they lost a teammate, so they start to search the area for a hidden sniper that could have done this. Meanwhile, Mark notices the invasion of the planet taking place, and he's quite familiar with fighting freaky alien genotypes that are trying to invade human planets. So he goes up to outer space to join the fight. Now let's stop and just have an observation about the powers and durabilities of Viltrumites. Mark is able in his own universe to fly through planets, so there's nothing that the Covenant can throw up that's going to defend against him just flying through their ships. Not only that, but even if the Covenant were to shoot him with their plasma cannons on the fronts of their ships, the fact is Viltrumites are pretty much immune to radiation. Recall that after his fight with Mark, Omni-Man was literally standing on top of an accretion disk. The amount of radiation there would have been immense, and the fact that he didn't get any kind of disease or damage from that means that any plasma weaponry that is inherently radioactive that the Covenant try to throw at a Viltrumite is just not going to work. So Mark flies out into space and just starts destroying all the ships. He starts with a long night of Solus, and then he just wipes out the entire Covenant fleet. Even when the fleet of Particular Justice arrive, he just wipes them out. This allows the UNSC to do what they do best and focus on winning the ground game and taking out all of the corvettes that are covering the skies, allowing Noble Six to rescue more people. Meanwhile, Mark is just taking it to the Covenant in outer space. All of the elites, including the Arbiter and all of the fleet of Particular Justice, dead. The private hierarchs have no idea what the heck just happened and why they are losing so badly. They can't even see what's destroying their ships, so they decide to make a tactical retreat so they can regroup and maybe strike back later. This gap in their attack pattern allows Blue Team and Master Chief to get all of the Covenant ground forces cleared off of Reach, as well as defend the power generators for all of the orbital defense platforms that are actually aiding Mark in his attack. The Office of Naval Intelligence takes interest in Mark, obviously, because he's some kind of alien species they've never interacted with. Of course, they regard him with caution because he could just wipe them out with a thought. So Catherine Halsey decides to invite him down to her lab to have a nice discussion, and she does that police officer trick of offering him a bottle of water for him to drink just so she can use it to collect his DNA from his skin cells on the lid of the bottle. That is when Cortana uses her quantum computing and her AI algorithms to crack the code to his DNA and figure out how to make super soldiers that are part Viltrumite, and that is immediately what the UNSC gets to work on, creating Flash clones that are part human and part Viltrumite. Because Cortana is an advanced AI, it doesn't take her very long to crack the Viltrumite code, and because Mark himself is half Viltrumite and half human, that makes it even easier because they're able to bridge the gaps in the difference between the Viltrumite DNA and the human DNA. This results in the UNSC having an entire fleet of Flash clones that are trained with UNSC military doctrine but are part human and part Viltrumite, and they are able to take to the skies and utterly lay waste to the Covenant. They go to St. Helios, the elite homeworld, and just obliterate it. They go to Doisac, they obliterate it. They even go to all the other species' home planets for the Covenant and basically just wipe them out. Anything that isn't a human in this galaxy is getting a UNSC Viltrumite ODST foot right up their butt. They eventually find iCharity, find it, and kill all of the High Prophets, and kill everyone there and destroy the city itself. Catherine Halsey, being the narcissist that she is, ends up making a Viltrumite clone of herself, which ends up promptly killing her because why should it take orders from an inferior model? In fact, this is becoming more widespread in the entire society. The UNSC society starts to collapse, being supplanted by the Viltrumite Empire or the Neo-Viltrumite Empire. This happens because Viltrumites naturally respond to power and are naturally very competitive, and they eventually start to wonder why they should be taking orders from meatbags that they could crush with a thought. This leads to the Viltrumites responding to the strongest one in the room, which happens to be Mark, who ends up becoming the Emperor of a new Viltrumite universe in the Halo galaxy. They eventually find Alpha Halo, which is the Halo ring from Halo CE, which the original poster or the requester of this video wanted, and the Viltrumites take over all of the Halo rings, including the first one, and they use them as forward observation base. Because of the fact that the monitors, like Guilty Spark, cannot tell the difference between them and humans from a biological standpoint, they just assume that the humans have somehow become better, and that is when they end up gaining control of all of the Halo rings, all of the installations, and all of the secrets of the Forerunners, and they become more than human, more than Forerunner, more than Viltrumite. They become the masters of the galaxy, and everyone should beware. And that is what would happen. Let me know what you think in the comments below.